Welcome to Rapid Fire Crypto Rundown. Ethereum is dead. Again. Let's break it down. It seems like every time Bitcoin and Solana hit new highs, the crypto world starts whispering, is this the end for Ethereum? You know how we do things around here.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into today's Milk Road newsletter.
Okay.
Dated 2024-12-14 for those of you who like to keep track.
Right.
To unpack why people are, yet again, chanting Ethereum's eulogy.
It is a bit of a head-scratcher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially with Bitcoin and Solana absolutely crushing it right now, you'd think.
Yeah.
Ethereum would be riding that same wave of enthusiasm.
Right.
But as Milk Road points out, Ethereum's price performance has been pretty lackluster.
Yeah, they actually included this chart.
Right.
Showing Bitcoin and Solana practically doubling in value since the beginning of the year.
Right.
While Ethereum's gains have been, well, let's just say a bit more meh.
Yeah.
I mean, is this like that awkward family reunion where everyone else got the growth spurt?
Okay.
Except Ethereum.
Maybe more like Ethereum just decided to hit the snack table a little too hard while everyone else was busy growing.
Right.
But to be fair, this whole Ethereum is dead narrative isn't exactly new.
Yeah, that's true.
The newsletter dug up a fascinating and slightly morbid stat.
Okay.
Ethereum has been declared dead a whopping 111 times since it first emerged.
Hold on. 111 times. Seriously?
Yep, 111 times. And get this.
Wow.
31 of those were just this year.
Oh, wow.
So either Ethereum is remarkably resilient, constantly rising from the ashes, or maybe there's something to these death notices.
Yeah.
Milk Road seems to think there might be.
Okay.
At least for now.
Okay.
They lay out some pretty compelling dislikes about Ethereum's current state.
Okay, let's unpack those dislikes. What's making Milk Road so bearish on Ethereum? What's the first red flag?
The first one is that Ethereum seems to be struggling to articulate a clear, concise vision for itself.
Okay.
Milk Road calls it missing its North Star. And it's a valid point.
Yeah.
You look at Bitcoin, it's pretty straightforward digital gold, a store of value.
Yeah.
Solana.
Right.
They're all about being the NASDAQ on-chain,
Yeah.
focused on speed and low transaction costs.
Right. Okay.
But what's Ethereum's big unifying goal?
Yeah. Now that you mention it,
Right.
it is a bit fuzzy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it aiming to be a world supercomputer?
Yeah.
Is it about ultrasound money?
Right.
Is it the foundation for a fully programmable internet?
Yeah.
It does seem to be trying to be a lot of things all at once.
It does. Yeah.
And honestly, if I had to explain Ethereum's vision to a friend who is new to crypto,
Yeah.
I think I'd have a way easier time with Bitcoin or Solana. Their missions are just so much easier to grasp.
Yeah, I think so too. And that lack of a clear, compelling narrative can make it harder to attract new users and, crucially, investors.
Right.
If people can't easily understand what you're trying to achieve, they might just decide to invest their time and money elsewhere, which could be what we're seeing with Ethereum's price lag.
Okay, so bit of an identity crisis going on there.
Yeah.
What's the second dislike on Milk Road's list?
This one gets a bit more into the technical nitty-gritty.
Okay.
Milk Road argues that Ethereum is burdened by what they call technical debt.
Okay.
Essentially, its underlying technology,
Right.
while revolutionary in its early days, is starting to show its age.
So kind of like trying to run the latest graphics-intensive video game on a computer from, say, 2014.
Yeah.
It might work.
Right.
But it's going to be slow and clunky.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a much better experience on a newer, more powerful machine.
Right.
Is that what we're talking about here?
That's a pretty good analogy, yeah. The crypto landscape has evolved rapidly.
Right.
And a lot of newer blockchains are offering near instant transaction speeds and super low costs.
Yeah.
Features that Ethereum, at least in its current form, just can't match.
Okay, that makes sense. So how's Ethereum trying to address this technical debt and keep up with the competition?
Well, one of their main strategies has been to focus on scaling through what are known as Layer 2 solutions, or L2s for short.
Right, L2s.
Think of them as separate networks built on top of the main Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah.
Sort of like adding extra lanes to a highway to handle more traffic.
Yeah, L2, they're supposed to help Ethereum process more transactions.
Right.
Make things faster and cheaper for everyone.
Exactly.
But I remember Milk Road hinting that there might be a problem brewing with these L2s.
Right.
What's the issue there?
Well, their third dislike is that these L2s might not be as loyal to Ethereum as it might hope. You see, right now, L2s benefit tremendously from their association with Ethereum.
Right.
They get security and credibility from being tied to the big name.
Yeah.
And they tap into Ethereum's massive user base and existing ecosystem. But
they could potentially find those things elsewhere.
That's exactly Milk Road's point.
Okay.
As L2s mature and gain their own traction,
Right.
they might start to realize that they could go it alone or even partner with a different blockchain entirely,
Okay.
especially if doing so is more profitable.
Yeah.
Milk Road even brought up Coinbase's Base L2 as an example.
Right.
Base is one of the fastest growing L2s out there, but it's backed by Coinbase, a publicly traded company.
Right.
And those companies tend to prioritize, well, profits.
Right. Shareholder value and all that.
Exactly.
So if sticking with Ethereum isn't the most financially savvy move down the line,
Yeah.
there's a chance Coinbase might decide to take Base in a different direction.
It's possible, yeah.
It's almost like Ethereum is the parent who painstakingly paid for their kid's college education, only to have that kid graduate and decide to move across the country. And maybe forget to call home every once in a while. Ouch.
It's a bit of a tough love situation for sure.
Yeah.
And it highlights a potential vulnerability for Ethereum. Its success, in a way, could create the conditions for its own downfall.
Right.
Or at least a significant reshaping of its role in the crypto ecosystem.
Okay, so we've got a vision problem, we've got some technological limitations, and now we've got potentially rebellious offspring.
Yeah.
What's the final nail? Milk Road is hammering into Ethereum's coffin.
Well, the last dislike really ties into this whole L2 dilemma.
Okay.
Milk Road calls it liquidity fragmentation.
Right.
And it's essentially the user experience nightmare
Okay.
that arises from having all these separate L2s operating within the Ethereum ecosystem.
Okay, liquidity fragmentation.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a pattern here. Milk Road has a knack for these catchy, but slightly intimidating terms.
Yeah.
Break it down for you. What's the problem here?
Imagine each L2 is like its own little island, right?
Yeah.
You've got your DeFi protocols, your NFTs, your various tokens, all happily existing within their specific L2.
Right.
But what happens when you want to move your assets from one island to another?
Let me guess. You need a boat.
A
really slow, expensive boat.
Exactly. You have to use what are called bridges.
Right.
Which, as you hinted at, can be slow, costly, and sometimes even risky.
Okay.
It's not a great user experience.
Right.
And it can be a real deterrent for people who are used to the seamless experience of, say, moving money between bank accounts or trading stocks on a centralized exchange.
It's like having a separate loyalty card for every coffee shop in town.
Right.
Sure, you can technically use them all. But it's such a hassle to keep track of them.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be so much easier if you just had one card that worked everywhere?
Exactly. And this fragmentation isn't just annoying for users, it also creates challenges for developers.
Right.
If you build a cool new dApp on one L2 and you want to expand it to another, you essentially have to start from scratch.
Wow.
Rebuilding your user base and attracting liquidity all over again.
Right.
It's inefficient.
Okay.
And can stifle innovation.
So not exactly the vibrant, interconnected ecosystem that Ethereum was envisioned to be.
Right.
It sounds like they've got some serious work to do to smooth out these rough edges if they want to stay competitive.
Right.
I mean, with all these dislikes, it's starting to feel like Ethereum is the aging rock star who's still trying to party like it's 1999.
There's definitely a feeling that Ethereum is at a crossroads.
Yeah.
It's achieved incredible things, pioneering smart contracts and laying the foundation for this whole universe of decentralized applications.
Right.
But the world is catching up, and the competition is fierce.
So what's the verdict then? Is this really the beginning of the end for Ethereum? Are we witnessing the slow, inevitable decline?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Of a once mighty crypto titan. Well, I wouldn't rate Ethereum's obituary just yet.
Okay.
Remember, Milk Road didn't just focus on the negative.
Right.
They also teased some intriguing likes.
Ooh.
Areas where Ethereum actually has a significant lead.
Interesting. Okay.
Over the competition.
Okay, so there's a glimmer of hope. Tell me more.
Yeah.
What are these mysterious likes that might save Ethereum from fading into obscurity?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky.
Okay.
Milk Road, cleverly, decided to keep those details tucked away behind their PRO subscription wall.
Right, of course.
They did, however, drop a few tantalizing hints.
All right, you've got my attention. Spill the tea. What kind of hints are we talking about?
They mentioned that Ethereum has a massive lead in several key areas that are crucial for long-term success in the crypto space. They also pointed out that some of the world's biggest companies are choosing to build on Ethereum, despite all the challenges we just discussed. And that raises a very interesting question. Why?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Why would these companies, with all their resources and expertise, choose to bet on Ethereum when there are so many shiny new blockchains out there?
It's like choosing to drive a classic car when you could have a sleek, brand new sports car. There's got to be something special under the hood. Something that those other blockchains just don't offer.
That's what I'm thinking. It suggests that Ethereum might have some hidden strengths, some fundamental advantages that aren't immediately apparent when you just look at price performance or the latest technological bells and whistles.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What are these hidden strengths? Is it Ethereum's massive developer community? Is it the sheer scale and maturity of its ecosystem?
Maybe.
Is it something else entirely? Ugh, I hate cliffhangers.
Me too. But sometimes a little mystery is a good thing.
Yeah, I get it.
It makes you want to dig deeper, explore further. And that's exactly what Milk Road is hoping we'll do.
So they've laid out the case against Ethereum, highlighted its flaws and vulnerabilities, and now they're dangling this carrot, this promise of hidden potential, all to entice us to subscribe to their newsletter and get the full story. Clever, very clever.
It's a classic marketing tactic for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, they've given us a lot to think about.
They have.
And they've definitely piqued my curiosity. I'm almost tempted to hit that subscribe button myself.
While we don't have access to Milk Road, their PRO analysis, we can still speculate, can't we?
Yeah, I guess.
We can look at what's publicly available and try to connect the dots. For example, they mentioned Ethereum's massive lead. What could that be referring to?
Well, one thing that immediately comes to mind is Ethereum's developer community. It's absolutely massive. Way larger than any other blockchain out there. And that's a huge advantage. Because it means there's a constant stream of new ideas, new applications, new innovations being built on Ethereum.
It's like a self-perpetuating cycle, right? The more developers you have, the more interesting projects get built, which attracts even more developers. And that network effect can be incredibly powerful.
And then there's the whole ecosystem aspect. Ethereum has been around for a while now. And it's built up this incredibly rich and diverse ecosystem. Of DeFi protocols, NFT marketplaces, DAOs, all sorts of things. It's a whole interconnected world. And that kind of maturity and breadth is hard to replicate overnight.
It's like comparing a bustling city center that's evolved organically over decades with all its quirks and complexities to a brand new planned community. The planned community might look shiny and efficient on paper, but it lacks that lived-in feel, that sense of history and interconnectedness that makes a city truly vibrant.
I like that analogy. And it makes you wonder if these big companies are choosing to build on Ethereum. Maybe they're seeing that long-term value. That robustness and resilience that comes with a mature ecosystem. Maybe they're not just chasing the latest hype. They're making strategic bets on the platforms they think will still be around 5, 10, 20 years from now.
And that's a really crucial point, I think, because in crypto, we tend to get caught up in the short-term price action, the daily dramas, the fear of missing out. But the real winners, the projects that truly change the world, are often the ones that are playing the long game. The ones that are building something sustainable and valuable, even if it doesn't always grab the headlines.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? I think the takeaway here is pretty clear. Don't just blindly follow the crowd. Don't assume that just because something is new or trendy, it's automatically better. Take the time to do your own research. Understand the underlying technology, the strengths and weaknesses of different projects, and then make informed decisions based on your own goals and risk tolerance.
And remember, there's always more to the story than what you see on the surface.
Right.
Don't be afraid to dig deeper, ask questions, challenge assumptions.
Okay.
The crypto world is full of surprises.
Yeah.
And the more you learn, the better equipped you'll be to navigate it successfully.
And speaking of learning more, if you're curious about those likes that Milk Road teased, the things that might just give Ethereum an edge in the long run, well, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Head over to their website. Check out their newsletter.
Right.
And maybe even consider subscribing to their PRO service.
Okay.
You can find the link in the description below.
Stay ahead. Subscribe to Milk Road.
Until next time, happy investing.